Ready to stop guessing why visitors are bouncing from your website? In this video, I'll give you 10 proven landing page tweaks that you can make to improve leads on your website in 2025. First impressions happen stupid fast, under 5 seconds fast. Google and Carnegie Mellon timed it. If we don't look trustworthy in half a blink, people smash the back button. So we borrow the brain's social validation shortcut. If others like me chose this, it's probably safe. Here's the 3-block recipe that you can use before anyone scrolls. So anything above the fold, for example, would be what you see initially here, okay? So anything above the fold is before they scroll. So anything under here is not above the fold. You can use things like a face row, which is little images, unfiltered images of your customers, little selfies with a 5-star overlay next to it. I'll show you an example from one of my clients. If you see just here, you can have a trust counter, a line that reads trusted by X amount of tradespeople, companies, customers. Also a logo bar, recognizable clients, media logos, people that you've worked with. You must ask your clients if you're allowed to use these. Just say it's not an endorsement, it's simply us showing who we've had the pleasure of working with. As you can see, I've got a row of logos from clients that I've had the pleasure of working with. Then also within the first section, you've got something called eyebrow copy. If a visitor pauses to wonder, is this for me? Your bounce risk leaps 87%. Eye tracking from Nielsen Norman shows that we skim the tiny line of text above the headline before we read the headline. For example, add 3 to 5 words above your main header. Like for example, I've got websites and SEO that work. People know that I deal with websites and SEO. You can put for busy roofers, for busy solo accountants. But if you're a dog groomer, you can say for dog parents. If you're targeting a specific area, then for Norwich dog parents, for Southend dog parents, etc. Your visitor's brain prefers conversational language, lower effort, higher recall. 4 quick rules you can implement. Use you and your, short sentences, contractions, will, you'll. Aim for a year 7 reading level. You want to speak in plain English. Now if I scroll down to my testimonial section, I'll show you how your testimonials should look. As you can see from my testimonials here, I'm highlighting a key quote from the testimonial. So even if someone doesn't want to read it, they get read the full thing. They get the main gist of that testimonial without reading it all. Also, the 5 stars give a good visual representation. Hack number 5. Try and implement a comparison table if you can. Prospects silently compare you to 2 things: a competitor and doing it themselves. Too many variables equals decision fatigue. For example, you can compare yourself to a competitor, or you can compare yourself to a do-it-yourself approach. This helps the client assess your service following a process that they may already be following in their head and weighing up their options. You've also got one goal, one button. For example, on a landing page, if you want the client to fill out a form, for example, you must implement the one goal, one button idea, where you will have just one button everywhere where you want the client to go. So for example, on my homepage, there's various areas that I can try and push the user to, but the main area I want them to go is to book a strategy call with myself. It'll be the same with you guys. If you want them to go straight to your contact page, then you would make that the main goal of that page. Don't be stuffing loads of random buttons, taking them all over the place, especially if it's not relevant. This is my home page, but on a landing page, you will typically have a navigation bar that only navigates that one page. Don't have your entire site's navigation bar where they can leave, bounce to other pages. Another hack is, unless you want brand awareness, do not add your social profiles to your website, because once a client is already at your website, they're already at the bottom end of your funnel. If you give them options like to go and look at your social media profiles, then they will potentially go and have a look at them, lose interest in your site and not come back. As you can see on mine, go down to the footer, you don't see any social profiles on my site. Something else I want to address is typically if you come down after the hero section, after your first section, a lot of companies will have an about us section. We are all pleased with our own achievements. We all want to give people a bit of a backstory about ourselves or our business, but unfortunately, if you think every single time you've gone to a website, how many times have you sat there and read the About Us section? I'm quite sure many of us would say we've never read it. We need to be more client focused. So for example, you can write about yourself, but make a specific About Us page and do it on there. If the client wants to read more about you, then they can go to that page. Or worst case, put it towards the bottom of the page and introduce yourself there. Or introduce your team there. Don't do it at the top and write a big paragraph praising yourself, bigging yourself up. It's useless. They don't want to see it. When a client's come into your site, they want to see that you're going to solve their problem. They're not coming to you to see what you've done and how you've got to where you've got to. They want to see whether you've worked for people before and you've delivered a quality service and you've solved people's problems. They don't want to see you bragging about your journey, unfortunately. But we've all done it. We've all added that About Us section right at the top, like it's the main point of our site. In this area, just under the hero section, would be your problem section. So the easiest way for me to explain this is if you go to ChatGPT and ask it to understand your typical buyer persona, customer persona, and their pain points, the problems that they are typically facing when they are looking for your type of services, and then you articulate that in the first section under the hero section on your website. So here, as you can see, I've stated you've tried it all, the free tools, the DIY tutorials, the cheap agencies, but your traffic's flat, leads are weak, and results just aren't coming. That's highlighting a typical problem that they might be facing. Then under that, you provide them with a solution. In this section, you would state the solution that you would offer them from your service. Then you would address benefits, not features. A lot of us try to state features all the time rather than benefits. For example, Harvard's Gerald Zaltman shows we decide with the emotion, the limbic brain, and justify with logic, the neocortex. So we translate features into felt outcomes. It's the kind of so what drill. If you write a feature, ask so what. Write the answer, ask so what one more time, and that's the final answer. That will be the benefit. There's other ways you can also add social proof. For example, you can use like a Nudgify pop-up. Sometimes you see it on some websites, typically on e-commerce sites. In the bottom left-hand corner, you will see a message pop up saying X person has just bought X service X amount of time ago. That helps show people that someone else has just purchased this service. It's safe for me to do so as well. And then last but not least, speed and mobile first optimization. So for one, you need your site to load as fast as possible. Every extra second after the first costs 7% of conversions, and 65% of traffic is on a phone. So you need to make sure your website loads fast, but also that it is well designed on mobile. You can fix this by pressing images, get them under 200 kilobytes. You can use free tools online to do that. You can add a free CDN. There's a company called Cloudflare CDN which offers a free service that you can add your site onto. It takes about half an hour with DNS changes, but that can help speed up your website as well. A CDN is a content distribution network. It distributes your site to various servers around the world, so wherever someone's going to access it, the nearest server will serve them the website faster than your one particular server that you're using with your hosting provider may be able to give them. Trouble is with large images, typically what people do, they get images, stock images, and they don't compress them at all because they want to keep them all high quality. The trouble is that can significantly slow down your website. I've been guilty of it when I first ever started website design myself, downloading stock images that are 1-2 megabytes in size, and you really do not need them to be that big, and that severely slows down your website. There's a free tool called Google Page Speed Insights that you can use. Just drop your URL into that, and that will tell you how fast your website is loading on mobile and on desktop. A goal metric for that would be a page speed of 85 plus on mobile. And that's it. We tackled the problem, showed the psychology, and proved the fix with real numbers. So hit subscribe and ring the bell if you are serious about turning traffic into paid clients. If you got any questions, just drop them down in the comment section and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Thanks again, guys.